To XRP or not to XRP? That is the question. And I am joined today with Ryan Stober. Ryan Stober is one of the coaches at ARC Crypto, and he's actually a partner and a coach, and he's been in crypto now for many, many years. And, his whole thing is, you should be buying XRP, not financial advice, or I should be buying XRP. He's trying to give me financial advice. And my whole thing is there's no way I'm touching that garbage with a 10-foot pole. Now, today we're going to be presenting you with both sides of the case. All right. I know from all the research that I've done, I'm not touching it. The last time I touched it was 2017 when it went up to $3. And now it's not even a good stable coin. It just keeps going down and down on the rankings. But Ryan says he's got some information. I'm going to eat a little bit of humble pie because I don't want to upset him. Okay. I don't want to upset him at the end of the day. But let's see what we got. But we got some people in here already. Curation, let's go. XRP to the moon. We got tons of XRP fans. Look, Martha Johnson saying yay XRP. And I'm going to be the villain today. I'm going to be the villain today because I just don't believe what's going on. So Ryan, what's going on? Give everybody a little background on yourself and how long you've been teaching crypto and how long you've been in crypto for.
Yeah, you guys hear me okay, all right? Yeah? You guys hear me?
Good to go.
Okay, great. Thanks. Yeah, thanks, Gven. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I am catching my breath right now because there has been a lot going on the last couple of days and just trying to sort through the world of crypto and XRP and so many unknowns with the court case and all the things. So I actually am relaxed and relieved to actually be at this part now. So, yeah, Gven, thank you very much for having me, by the way. And I think what I'm going to try to do today, guys, is I'm just going to present information. I think XRP is highly valuable, obviously. Okay, so what I'm going to try to do today is just kind of present enough information to create the awareness so that you guys can decide that for yourself. Something did occur to me, Gven. You can tell me what you think of this. I mean, traditionally, when you debate something, it's based on a historical happening or a fact or a law or something like that. We're right in the middle of some pretty intense things happening in the space, right? So, I mean, there's the court case that's happening currently, right? So unfortunately, there are certain things that you're just going to have to keep digging, a little bit of speculation, a little bit, put two and two together. So I am no stranger to adding that into what I'm going to talk about today. So with that, actually, Ruben, if you wouldn't mind, let's just play this first video clip. And then I'm going to go in and give you guys a brief history of XRP and kind of get you caught up in case there's anyone that's watching that's kind of new to XRP or new to crypto. Try to make sure that you can keep up and you're catching on to what we're talking about today. Okay, so Ruben, if you want, go ahead and play that first clip for me if you wouldn't mind.
And frankly, speculating on where XRP is going to go, and to the extent we are successful solving a multi-trillion-dollar problem using XRP and integrating XRP into those flows, it's going to drive a lot of demand for XRP. Again, I said earlier that the market cap of XRP today is around 25 billion. You're solving a $27 trillion problem. I'm not saying it's going to 27 trillion, mind you. You take a lot of friction out of that system. But, when I think about the other use cases and consumer use cases, I think there are a lot of other use cases where we think XRP could be a very efficient digital asset. Ripple is focused on payments. We think about it kind of the same way. Amazon was really good at books. The name of the company actually was Amazon Books. It wasn't Amazon. And then they decided, hey, let's go do another vertical. And when I think about what Ripple's trying to do, we want to be extremely good at solving a very large problem around payments and liquidity on a global basis. We are actively, frankly, investing in other use cases for XRP. And those aren't things we will pursue, but some of them will be consumer centric. Some of them will be in marketplaces. But those are things that we will partner with or help entrepreneurs go and build solutions that take advantage of with a very performant asset relative to most of the other digital assets out there. When we talk about Jamie Dimon, we first have to recognize where he sits he sits at the top of the global financial infrastructure. There are a few banks, of which JPM is certainly one, that make billions and billions of dollars of profit by virtue of that perch. 99.9% of banks don't make money in this ecosystem in terms of cross-border payments. Jamie Dimon makes a technical term of a shit ton of money by sitting there. So when I hear Jamie Dimon saying he's a fraud, I think to myself, well, of course he's going to say that. He's talking. I mean, and by the way, there's also people who conspiratorially, he's trying to talk down the price of Bitcoin so JPM can buy it. Like the idea that JP Morgan isn't actively working in the blockchain and Bitcoin space is not true. Frankly, I don't mind sharing. There are about 15 senior JP Morgan people at Ripple's offices this afternoon. Now, unless JP Morgan's going to fire them.
Does JP Dimon know that?
Apparently not. Anyway, so look, that's my thought on the whole JP Dimon thing. I do think there are people who are going to say this is, in the same manner, a very smart investor said to me, in 1997, the whole West Coast was long Amazon and the whole East Coast was shorting Amazon. We saw how that worked out. And his point was basically, look, the West Coast is obviously bullish and, there's some that are very cynical about these things and, we'll see how it works out. On the risk factor, just very briefly, because I don't want to go on too long, but I think what we have to remind ourselves that this has to come back to utility. What problem is the digital asset solving? If it's solving a real problem and it's creating value by solving that problem, then there will be value in the token.
Thanks, Ruben. Yeah, guys. So that's Brad Garlinghouse. He's the CEO of Ripple Labs, and he is a bulldog. Okay. I think everybody that works, the top guys, you got Brad Garlinghouse, David Schwartz, you got Chris Larson. I mean, those guys are bulldogs. And so let me share my screen and let me show you. Okay. Got a problem with that. So, sorry guys, a little technical glitch here on my slides. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm just going to read this to you. I'm having a problem sharing this particular slide. Okay. So, for anyone who's new, not familiar with what XRP is. All right. Let me just give you a quick, recap of what it is. Okay. So 2012, David Schwartz, Jed McCaleb, and Arthur Brito launched the XRP ledger. This is before Ripple Labs, okay? They launched the XRP ledger originally with its native currency, XRP. In September of that year, along with Chris Larson, they founded the company that is today known as Ripple. The XRP ledger architects gifted 80 billion XRP to Ripple so that the company could build use cases around the digital asset. All right, so that's important to keep in mind. So the guys who created the ledger actually gave the company Ripple 80 billion XRP. Okay. Lucky them. All right. So how does XRP work? Transactionally, the speed of XRP transactions are confirmed in 3 to 5 seconds. All right. I'm going to sit on that for a second. 3 to 5 seconds. All right. That's also very important to keep in mind. Okay. Cause that's very fast compared to Bitcoin, compared to Ethereum. Okay. And I know that the space is evolving quickly, and a lot of things are getting a lot faster, and it will continue to go that route. XRP has been there the whole time. All right. Low fees. Transaction fees are very low, typically fractions of a cent. To transact on the XRP ledger, fractions of a cent. Scalability. XRP can handle around 15,000 transactions per second, significantly more than many other cryptocurrencies. All right. We got a consensus algorithm. Ripple protocol consensus algorithm, unlike Bitcoin's proof of work or Ethereum's proof of stake, XRP uses RPCA, all right, where independent validators reach consensus on the state of the ledger every few seconds. So Ruben, if you wouldn't mind, I'm going to delete this old one. Can you play that current video that I have up there?
This is pretty tough to pack, the kind of information that I want into 1 minute. I'm David Schwartz, CTO at Ripple, and this is Crypto in a Minute. I've got 1 minute, okay. Well, the first consensus model was proof of work. I guess the advantage of proof of work was at the time it was the only game in town, and it allowed for a decentralized system, that is one that doesn't rely on a central authority. Later developments included things like Federated Byzantine Agreement, with the XRP ledger uses, and proof of stake. Some of the advantages of these later developments are lower cost. Proof of work costs millions of dollars to pay the miners for the energy that they use. Proof of stake doesn't have that cost and can provide comparable security. And if you're the person who's paying those costs, if you're the people who are using the system, how much it costs just to keep the system secure is like a tax. It's residual friction that the system doesn't remove. Federated Byzantine Agreement, which is what the XRP ledger uses, makes the users of the system the stakeholders rather than the people who have the most money to spend on tokens or power. And that provides a more sort of democratic system where the costs can be low and the performance can be high.
Thanks, Ruben. So I figured that's David Schwartz. That's the CTO of Ripple Labs. And if you go on down the rabbit hole with David Schwartz, I think you'll find some interesting things about the guy. He's deep into the system. So I'll leave that for another time. Okay, so some use cases for XRP. Okay, how does it work? Cross-border payments. XRP is primarily used for transferring money across borders. Financial institutions use XRP as a bridge currency to facilitate quicker and cheaper cross-border transactions. It's a liquidity provider, which is huge. Liquidity is huge, guys. By holding XRP, financial institutions can source liquidity on demand without needing to pre-fund accounts in various countries. Pre-funding, okay, that's another thing that we want to get pretty familiar with here. And I'm gonna upload a video real quick for you, Ruben, for this. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Okay. When this shows up, Ruben, you can go ahead and play it. This is Brad Garlinghouse talking about the pre-funding aspect.
Our view in the future is you don't have to have this pre-funding, and instead you can use a digital asset to have global liquidity on demand. Now, we build upon a tech stack, an open source technology called XRP. XRP originally was built by some engineers who had seen some of the flaws of Bitcoin and the challenges of scalability around Bitcoin. Where Bitcoin today, on a per transaction basis, it's rather slow and rather expensive. XRP is very, very fast, about 1,000 times faster per transaction and 1,000 times cheaper per transaction. The other dynamic, of course, of correspondent banking is some of the more quote unquote exotic currencies, exotic corridors have been left to kind of stand on their own. And the liquidity in digital assets could be applied to actually make that much more democratized and a level playing field. Ripple's vision from the beginning really has been to apply these technologies in the same way that TCP/IP and HTTP are the technologies underpinning the Internet of Information. These blockchain technologies will be the underpinnings of an Internet of Value, where we have connected devices, we have connected information that will allow payments to flow. And as Norman was describing, if you're a large corporation moving $100 million, that's one thing. If you're a freelancer working in the Philippines doing design work for a company in London and you want to get paid $30 or 30 pesos, Philippine pesos, that's not a transaction that can easily be enabled. And in fact, for the companies that enable that, they require the freelancer to set up an account and they don't actually pay it out until there's roughly 1,000 USD sitting in that account, and then they would pay it out.
You're muted, Ryan.
Oh, sorry, guys. Apologize. Yeah, so that's Brad Garlinghouse's take on just the removing the need to pre-fund accounts, which removes a ton of liquidity from the market, guys. Okay, so big institutions moving money around all the time got to pre-fund these accounts while they're transferring just to prove that they have the backing, right? So to me, that's pretty big, and those are some basic things just to think about. I want to talk a little bit about RippleNet real quick. What is RippleNet? RippleNet is a network of institutional payment providers such as banks and money service businesses that use solutions developed by Ripple to provide a frictionless experience to send money globally. Frictionless. Think about Ripple, water, right? There's a theme here, right? So it's removing friction from the market. Ripple offers several products to financial institutions, which with XRapid, which is now known as ODL, on-demand liquidity, specifically using XRP to provide liquidity. And that's kind of what Brad Garlinghouse was talking about with that on-demand liquidity. So we're not going to get in the weeds right this second with some of that stuff, but you got to think about algorithms, and you got to think about what does on-demand liquidity actually mean in the digital age. It means it's going to be based on algorithms and other things, going to be able to move the money where it needs to be so that the liquidity is always there, which has never been the case, right? So that's just something to know about that. Let's talk about real quick the supply of XRP. Okay. So we know that it's consensus, right? So all the tokens were pre-minted from the get-go. There's no proof of work or proof of stake. So the supply of XRP, 100 billion XRP tokens, 100 billion XRP tokens were created. All right. No more will be created. Distribution, a significant portion of XRP is held by the company Ripple Labs. Okay. That's important to know, which periodically sells tokens to fund operations and developments. And remember, that was that gift that they got from the architects. That's where that comes from. All right. Now, the majority of Ripple's XRP supply is in escrow. Ripple placed 55 billion XRP into a cryptographically secured escrow account. By securing this XRP, people can mathematically verify the maximum supply of Ripple's XRP that can enter the market. Okay. So that's important to understand. Okay. That there's big decisions behind everything that these guys are doing, right? They're thinking far ahead. They're making sure that they're scalable, that they don't leave the door open to errors and mistakes as much as possible. That's what I get out of that. And I think the other thing to keep in mind about the escrow is a lot of people say, well, what's stopping Ripple from just selling all of their XRP if they want? They can't. It's scheduled. It's automated to where they can only remove at maximum 1 billion tokens each month. And that's to use for whatever they want to use, pretty much. If they don't use all of them, which happens all the time, let's say they only used 200 million and they got 800 million, it goes back into the escrow. So keep that in mind. So they have a lot of tokens that are locked up that are going to be locked up for quite a while. All right. Especially if they're not using them 1 billion every month, and they cannot sell more than that. Okay. So that's an important thing to keep in mind. So before we start going back and forth a little bit, Gven, just summarize real quick. XRP is designated to facilitate fast, low-cost border transactions and serve as a bridge currency for financial institutions using the Ripple network. Its unique consensus mechanism and use case make it a significant player in the cryptocurrency space, particularly for institutional use. Okay. So I wanted to give you an introduction to what XRP is. And now real briefly, I'm just going to tell you about the court case. For those of you who don't know why they got sued by the SEC and where they are currently, really briefly. So in December of 2020, the SEC sued Ripple Labs, alleging that Ripple conducted an unregistered securities offering by selling its cryptocurrency. All right. Ripple, on the other hand, argued that XRP is a cryptocurrency similar to Bitcoin and Ethereum, which the SEC has not classified as securities. Ripple contended that XRP functions as a medium of exchange and is used in various financial transactions, not as an investment contract. All right. So Ripple won. All right. So last July, the Judge Annalisa Torres here in New York, where I'm at, basically said the SEC was like, they didn't have a case. So fast forward to now. All right. Ripple and SEC are trying to come up with whatever fine Ripple is going to have to pay the SEC before they can kind of move on with their lives and get back to business fully. Ripple SEC had asked for $2 billion. Okay. So anyone in the chats or anyone that can justify that, by the way, feel free to, because that's an insane amount of money. The only thing I can think of is that they know something that the rest of us don't about the value of the company. They say they're trying to scare other people from that behavior, but $2 billion, give me a break. So we're waiting on that. That Judge Torres has in her hands, she's going to decide the actual fee that Ripple will end up paying. It's not going to be $2 billion. Okay. So that could come up any day now. I think it's going to probably happen in the next 5 to 10 days. Honestly, I think we're going to know, and whether or not there's an appeal, I don't know, but that's a standard practice. So probably will occur. So with that, come on back in, Gven, let's chat.
I
just want to make sure that these guys had a little bit of an understanding of what we were going to be talking about.
How led astray you have already started to lead everybody. How led astray. I'm
nice.
Sorry, XRP fans, but and listen, don't hate the messenger. All right. Don't hate the messenger. I'm just here to show you the real facts. all right, about XRP. And so I'm going to take Ryan off stage here. So first of all right, if you want to get more people involved in this debate, hit that like button if you're on YouTube, or if you're not, share this with somebody and let's get more eyes on this, because I want to show everybody the light here. And, you know, Ryan says he wants to show them the light, but I really believe that there's not much going on here with XRP. All right. And I'm going to break that down for you today. I've got a presentation that I've got set up for everybody here called The Dark Side of XRP. All right. Now, again, a little bit about myself. I've been in the crypto sphere since 2017. I bought XRP. All right. I bought XRP when it was like, 30 cents, and it went all the way up to like $3.40. I didn't buy a whole bunch of it. Okay. But I bought a lot of it. Okay. And back then, when I just didn't know any better, I didn't know how to do research in crypto and all this stuff, I heard all of my friends going, XRP is the next thing, and it is going to be the bank's coin. All right. And I was like, whoa, the bank's coin? Whoa, this is a huge, huge deal. Maybe I got to get in on this. Okay. If it's going to be the bank's coin, JP Morgan Chase is going to use this, Bank of Santander is going to use, man, this is going to be huge. And so just like everybody else, I speculated on it and I bought it. Now, what ended up happening was, once I actually understood crypto, I went in and I started doing some research, and I'm like, this is bullshit. Literally, all of this, what's going on with XRP, is a bunch of hogwash and a bunch of hype. And now, in my opinion, it's what we call a zombie chain. Okay. And I'm going to show you how that is today. And we're going to go in and we're going to actually look on the blockchain. All right. To see who's using it and what's going on and how many transactions per second are actually occurring. Okay. With XRP. So let's move on with my presentation here, and we're going to get into some juicy stuff. So, oh man, hold on. Let me refresh my page because I got a lot of nice art here that I want to share with everybody. I used my nice AI yesterday to come up with some of these nice pictures. Okay, centralized concerns. This is like the cauldron of centralization for XRP. All right, this is the cauldron of centralization. So XRP Ledger is criticized for being highly centralized. Ripple controls a significant portion of nodes and validators, which we're going to get into. All right. And I'm going to explain to you what nodes and validators are here in a little bit, and why nobody cares about the nodes and validators in XRP. Decentralization can lead to potential manipulation and single points of failure, which it already has in XRP. And then critics argue that this makes XRP less secure compared to the decentralized cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, Ryan already talked about the legal issues with XRP, but this is actually what I think is the best use case of XRP so far. It's been the punching bag for the SEC, for us in crypto, to make sure that we don't get classified as a security. And it's starting to come unraveled now with the approval of the ETF in Ethereum, that cryptos are not now securities. Now, there are all sorts of things, this allegation of raising 1.3 million through unregistered security and all this stuff. I think the SEC is a bunch of idiots. All right. And so this is the one thing, I put this up here to show you the one legitimate use case of XRP. All right. Now, control over the token supply. Here's where it gets juicy. All right. Ripple holds a large portion of XRP in escrow, releasing these tokens, like Ryan said, 1 billion at a time. Okay. Now, this is a huge, substantial amount. And then besides that, the founders hold 22% of the tokens right now. That's a ridiculous amount of tokens being held. All right. There is no way that that's going on right now with Ethereum or with Bitcoin. And I know some of you may be saying, well, no, that's BS because, you know, in Ethereum, you've got these stakers or these validators that are holding it in Lido or all this stuff. Yeah, but I can still pull that out. And those are in smart contracts, something that XRP does not truly have, even though they say they have smart contracts. They're more like dumb contracts, all right, in my opinion. Now, critics fear potential price manipulation due to the centralization control, and Ripple's actions directly impact XRP's price and volatility. Okay, now limited adoption. This is something that so many people, like, I don't get how people don't look into this sort of thing. All right, how people don't listen to this, like, as opposed to like, this is going to be the bank's chain, or this is going to be a competitor to Swift. And by the way, I love you all in the crypto community. All right, but we just differ on this because nobody, and I mean nobody, who's in DeFi, who's legitimate, is doing any DeFi on the XRP blockchain. Like, if you are, raise your hand. I want to see in the comments section. I want to see how many of you are actually doing DeFi. And it's funny because I asked this one time to one guy. He's like, super XRP maxi. Oh, XRP is going to the moon, bro. And I go, yeah, but who's using it? I am. How are you using it? I bought it on Binance. That's not DeFi. Hello, McFly. Hello. That's not DeFi. All right. DeFi means you're actually using the token for gas as a profit sharing token or something that is connected to smart contracts. And there are people using your futuristic banks. Nobody's using it, guys and gals. And then there's like these off things, like we'll get into the website here in a little bit. All right. Where they're like, such and such is using it. I'm like, who is this company that they've put up here? It's not like you got like a whole bunch of Fortune 500 companies and it's become like, like 20% of their business model. It's a whole bunch of cannon fodder. It's a whole bunch of hype. That's all it is. It's a whole bunch of hype. Okay. So limited adoption. Ripple's XRapid product, mainly used by smaller businesses, is not being used by a lot of businesses. All right. Tell me, if you have a small business right now, are you using Ripple's XRapid product? No. Nobody's even heard about it. In fact, I'd argue even Ryan hasn't heard of XRapid product. All right. None of you have heard of XRapid product because it's bullshit. All right. And then here's the difference. Okay. Here's the difference. BlackRock. All right. BlackRock's build, which is the new blockchain that BlackRock is building to bring tokenized assets onto the blockchain, is being built on what? Not XRP, not Bitcoin, Ethereum. Because this is exactly what Ethereum was built for. It's a smart contract, decentralized finance blockchain. Now, Ethereum technically could get big enough to where it just becomes a settlement layer, okay, going forward, meaning we're just using it to transact into layer 2 solutions, which is what build is going to be. But you don't have this stuff being built on XRP. Not just that, somebody please tell me if they can find a bridge from XRP to the Ethereum blockchain or to the Bitcoin blockchain, all right? Maybe the Bitcoin blockchain. I haven't done enough research, but certainly not the Ethereum blockchain. Unless you're talking about like a centralized way to do it, all right? There's ways to do it centralized, but not a full DeFi bridge, okay? And this just turns me way off to it. Now, there's better options out there. Somebody here was telling me earlier in the chat that Swift or that Chainlink is serving a different purpose. So where did Chainlink start off? All right. Chainlink basically connects real world assets to the blockchain. How does that work? All right. Essentially, you're saying like, oh, okay, well, the price of gold is, and I don't know what the price of gold is, because that's another useless asset as well. $2,000. Let's say the price of gold is $2,000 right now. All right. The price of gold is $2,000. And on the blockchain, it's going to reflect that asset correctly so that we make sure that everything that we're trading on the blockchain has a correct feed to the real world price of it. Okay. Now, last year, sometime late last year, mid last year, actually, Chainlink launched something called CCIP. All right. And CCIP is now being able to connect, okay, the TradFi systems to the blockchain, not just the price, but the actual movement of money and capital. XRP is not doing that. All right. And instead of going, we're going to become a competitor to Swift, what happened, Link said, let's go join up with Swift. And they've done all sorts of things. And these are not just headlines, guys and gals. You want to know why I know this? Because I'm actually working with devs on certain things that we're trying to do on our end, because we have a decentralized managed option for our students where you have control of your money, you have custody of it, okay? And we're just able to manage it. You can take your money out whenever you want. That's the amazing part of the blockchain. But how do you get directly into your wallet from your TradFi system? That's what's happening right now with Swift. They're working on connecting your Web3 ID to your bank account and in conjunction with Chainlink. So a lot of people don't understand, like, well, I'm not going to use XRP to do that because they don't even have it in existence and it's not even working and it doesn't play well with others. It doesn't connect to Bitcoin easily. It doesn't connect to Binance easily. It doesn't connect, and I'm saying Binance Smart Chain. It doesn't connect to Ethereum easily. So this is what all the things that I'm looking at going, this is a bunch of hype. This is a bunch of XRP maximalists who are just like cheering on Brad Garlinghouse, all right, going, yay, yay, he said we're doing this, he said we're doing that, but then you're not even using it, all right? Who would use a cross-chain border? Who would use, type that in the chat, cross-chain border solution. A lot of Americans will say it's going to be XRP. Well, guess what, Americans? I don't live in America. I'm an American, and I've traveled to over 10 countries in the last 4 years. 4 of which have experienced hyperinflation. Okay? I've been to Turkey. I've been to Argentina. I've been to Lebanon. Guys, gals, and I'm going to use a cuss word, so cover your kids' ears. They're not fucking using XRP. You know what they're using? Type it in the chat. Type it in the chat. Like, let's go. I want to see some fingers bleeding by the end of this because they're not using XRP. They're not even thinking about XRP. What are they using? They're using USDT. They're using USDC. They're using stable coins. That's what they're using. And how are they doing it? They're just setting up a simple little Binance account. They're wiring money into their Binance account. And then they're sending it directly over. Now, that's going to get even easier with Chainlink. With Chainlink and CCIP, they're not even going to have to go through Binance. They just connect their Web3 ID to that, send it there, and then they can send their money to their relative in Argentina, to their relative in Lebanon, to their relative in Turkey, in Venezuela. Okay? That's the more practical solution. But let's keep going because I do have more here in terms of why you wouldn't use this. Now, the ineffectiveness of XRP for transferring value. XRP, like many cryptocurrencies, experiences significant price fluctuations. So if I'm transferring my XRP from here to here, which by the way, there's blockchains that can do it way faster. Its cousin, Stellar Lumens, has actually more developers on it, okay, than XRP. There's actually more development going on by, I think, like 3 times. We'll look at it here in a few seconds. More developers than XRP, 3 times the amount, okay? Now, this volatility undermines its reliability as a medium for transferring value. For those of you that are saying, I'm going to wait until XRP is going up to $5, the reason it would go up to $5 is because people are using it as a transfer of value. if people are using it as a transfer of value, more people would rather use the Bitcoin Lightning Network because Bitcoin is more well-known, more steady than XRP, okay? But the problem is that if you have XRP go up by $5, imagine it dumps by 10% in the matter of a few seconds, which, by the way, it happened. I got liquidated last week on a long that I went a 50x on Ethereum right before the ETF was launched, okay? And it wicked down like 10% and then rubber banded right back up. So you don't think that can happen with XRP? You bet your ass it could, all right? So unlike stable coins, okay, that are pegged to fiat currencies, which is, listen, it's what we're using right now, all right? We're using fiat currencies in the world. When I was in Turkey, when I was in Russia, I was not using straight crypto. I was using crypto in terms of like transferring that crypto into my card to spend it thereafter, but I was not using straight crypto just quite yet. But we're using stable coins because they are pegged to fiat currencies, again, unlike XRP. So let's take a look. For those of you who don't know, and by the way, hit the like button. Hit the like button if you like what I'm talking about, or if you even liked what Ryan was talking about. And he and I are going to get on here and banter in a few minutes, okay? I'm almost done here. But this is the way XRP works for those of you XRP maximalists who don't really actually know XRP, all right? So the first thing is you have an institution that has to buy XRP, all right? Then that institution sells that XRP into dollars, okay? And then they sell the dollars into XRP. Then the XRP is transferred and converts into whatever, euro, Turkish lira, you name it, okay? And it goes through within, like Ryan was saying, 5 seconds. Big deal. There's a whole bunch of fast blockchains right now. That's not that big of a deal, all right? So now it converts here, but again, what happens if from here to here it drops 1% or 2% or 5%? Now, they may be pleasantly surprised if it goes up by 10%, all right, or 5%, but you want to have a reliable source that gets on the other side because it flips to the other way where it's down, you're screwed, all right? You're screwed. So then it goes to the receiving institution and then it goes to the beneficiaries, all right? Guys, gals, this is not sound money. This is not the way to transfer value, okay? Now, here's something that I actually even learned yesterday. I didn't even know this, and when I found out, I was like, oh my gosh. Again, hello, McFly. Like, I was like sitting here going like, XRP people, man, you guys got it coming, okay? Lack of validator incentives. So XRP has validators that receive no financial incentive rewards. Why would I want to become a validator if I'm not incentivized to do so? That's the whole freaking reason behind Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polkadot, ADA. I am staking my crypto to validate the network. Guess who owns the majority of those validators? It doesn't take a rocket science, guys and gals. It's Ripple, all right? And all of the guys over in Ripple. So the contrast, all right, with Bitcoin and Ethereum is I can either stake my Ethereum and earn rewards by staking it with a validator like Lido, like Frax, like some of these other Rocket Pool. Or if in Bitcoin's case, I want to buy Bitcoin miners, which I have Bitcoin miners, that incentivize me for validating network transactions or solving the complexity equation to pump out the emissions of Bitcoin. This is sound money, not something that's controlled by the validators that made the blockchain and the cryptocurrency that governs it. It is not decentralized from the cryptos that's being held to the validation of the blockchain. And this is wild that anybody's not paying attention to this. Did you guys know this? Type this in the chat if you didn't know this, all right? Now, here's the bottom line. XRP's best use case is against the SEC for the crypto community, all right? my hat is off to the XRP community for having such loyal people. But that is the only reason that XRP really is probably in existence. And yes, once the SEC is done, you're probably going to get another God candle in XRP, but it's going to do the exact same thing that it did last year. And that is dump down to the lower trenches of the crypto swamp. And it's going to become another EOS or another one of these garbage blockchains that nobody uses anymore. Okay. And we can see here, take a look at this. Okay. How many developers does Ethereum have? And by the way, this is from December 31st of last year. It's probably grown since then. 2,392 developers in the Ethereum blockchain. And then after that, it's Polkadot with 792, which is another garbage blockchain, by the way, because I've used it. All right. See, you can't say like, how can he say that about that blockchain? I only have these strong opinions because I've used this stuff. And if you want to learn how I've used it to earn passive income and all that stuff, we got a free 7-day trial here. It's down below. We're going to put it in the chat, and it's down below here. You can go to arcrypto.io/galaxy and check it out. It's $97 a month thereafter if you like it. And we show you how to yield farm. We show you how to liquidity pool mine. We show you how to become a DeFi bank. All right. I can't use the word bank, but I'm going to use it anyway. Screw it. All right. It's the truth. I do my own banking. My banks go crazy because they're like, how come you don't keep your money with us? I'm like, because you pay me like 5%. Why would I want my money there when I can earn 50 or 100 by becoming the bank, doing what you do? So if you want to learn how to do that, click on that link. It's completely free for 7 days. But let's take a look at let's go down the list. If we go down the list, Polygon, which is a layer 2 solution on Ethereum, has 790 developers. And I actually think this has probably grown as well. Now, so the number 1 and the number 3 are directly linked to Ethereum. Then we got Cosmos, which is the number 4, and Arbitrum, which is the number 5. And by the way, Cosmos is good. I like Cosmos. It's probably the only thing that I agree on with Ryan because he's a Cosmos maxi as well. But Arbitrum is also a layer 2 solution, and they've got 592. And if you keep going down, there is layer 2 solution on top of layer 2 solution for Ethereum that you can't even count. There's that many developers in the Ethereum ecosystem. How many does XRP have? 46. 46. What? 46? And you think you're going to be the dominant cryptocurrency in the world? Boys, girls, y'all smoking crack if you think that's going to happen. It ain't. All right? You all are smoking crack. I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to let Ryan jump in here because I need to let my voice and my soul relax because I'm just so upset that anyone would ever buy this crypto.
I got to put my crack pipe away. Give me a second. No, so I guess I knew you were going to go right for the data. And the issue I have with that
Don't
is
hit me with the facts. I knew
the
you were
issue.
going for the facts. Don't
No,
hit me with
the
facts.
data, not the facts. The data, which I don't think are facts. I mean, they're facts, but they're based on fallacies. Listen. You got a company that's been in litigation for almost 5 years. And if you think there's going to be any growth during that time, I think that's craziness. That's actually something that I look to that makes me want to buy more of it. Okay, this is a unicorn in my mind, and we can start to go through, bit by bit or point by point. But ultimately, I'll be honest with you, the way that I perceive what's happening right now, okay, is I think there's a bit of a unicorn thing happening where we're going to get a chance to catch a wave that we might not have gotten to catch had this not occurred in this way. I really believe that. You got to ask yourself too, why Ripple? Why Ripple? Just Ripple. I don't want to get into ETHgate. They got a free pass. Okay, there's politics going on here, and this isn't based on on-chain data. This is based on real grown men doing business behind closed doors.
Conspiracy theories
until they come true, right? So all I want the people to know is become aware, look into it, make your own decision. All right, I'm giving you my reasons that I think it has value. Okay, we're not talking about whether or not it's going to, sustained value for 100 years or something like that. I'm saying like there is value there as an investor during this current cycle. There's a lot of value. There's a lot of value. I think that the stars are. What do you mean?
What is the value though? What is the value though? The
value is it's like a beach ball that's been held underwater for the last 5 years. It didn't even get to do anything in the last bull run. 2018, it had a 36,000% increase, right? I'm not saying it's going to do that again, but what I'm saying is it did not get to do that last time around. It missed a whole bull run. It's got a whole lot of energy pent up and it's ready to go. And I happen to think that there's a reason that Ripple has 1,700 NDAs, active NDAs. They can't tell you what they're doing exactly. There is a lot of secrecy, and I think that has to be included because that's reality. All right. We can look at charts all day long. There's a reason why in 2020, 21, XRP didn't get an all-time high. It didn't do anything. But we know why. So I can't go back and use that as any kind of data to inform me as an investor why I should or shouldn't purchase it. Right. If they were found guilty, right, of selling a security, like, there's a lot to the case. I don't want to pretend like I understand all of it too, but understanding that they beat the SEC, okay, and now the SEC's dragging their feet the whole time. They've been just trying to slow this train down, because it's going to change. This is a paradigm change that like we have never experienced, and we talk about it all the time, Gven, in terms of the entire crypto world, right? Digitizing everything. Okay, so I think that is a very important thing to keep in mind. And by the way, there was no God candle on July 13th of last year when it didn't even hit $1. That's not a God candle. A God candle is when it goes from 50 cents to like $10 or something like that. But
no, none of them are going to go in a straight line like that. But that was a God candle. It went up 100% in one day. That's like that's as God candle as it comes.
They had in March 11th of this year, it did 20% in a couple hours, and it retraced again. But again, I had a presentation, and to be honest with you, I had to move on from it for different reasons. But I did have a tinfoil hat section in it, just so you know, because I think that's important. But I mean, you gotta wonder who's pulling the strings behind the scenes. It's a bit of a Wizard of Oz thing here. This is not natural behavior in terms of, and I know that you could argue if that's good or bad. That's fine. We're talking about value though. Okay. I happen to think that it's being suppressed for a reason. And the people that I agree with on that have been pretty good with the track record of how they've been calling the shots so far with the case and with what's going to happen with XRP and Ripple. So I actually do believe that there is some kind of suppression going on with the behavior of the price action. Okay.
But that's speculation, Ryan.
I know it's speculation. I know that.
You believe that. See, now if I'm investing in something, right? Like I've had a lot of hope. Like I had a lot of hope into EOS. Okay. I had a lot of hope into Polkadot, and none of them panned out to be anything. And now you're telling me when I hit you with the facts, with the data, all right, and you're sitting there going like, well, I just don't believe that because they've got patents. They've got NDAs, 49 NDAs that got like, I don't even, where are those NDAs, all right? Like nobody is using this blockchain.
Why would they be? Why would they be using the blockchain? That's when you say that, I don't understand why they would be right now. I think everybody, there's enough going on to where it's like, they're not going to get anywhere. I mean, it makes sense why they wouldn't, but for XRP and Ripple, like that's, I think a good thing. I don't think that's by accident.
Okay. But so you're telling me that let's say this happened to Ethereum. Okay. Ethereum in 2021 gets sued for being a security. You think everybody's going to stop using Ethereum?
Not at this point. It's too late now. It's too late. That's the point. That's the point. That's why they didn't get them in the first time. It's too big. It's too big to fail in some regards. It's not really, but you know what I mean. It is a chosen one by, let's call them the financial mafia. Okay, you can't have somebody like, these up and comers, these young whippersnappers with their XRPs and their like liquidity solutions and making it so cheap just to move value around without some resistance, right? So they go, hey, hold on a second, we don't know. Like, I mean, even I got a bunch of stuff I can find. I got little tweets and all these things. It's just I gotta find them. But the point is, like, Larry Fink even said, like, he's like, I don't know any XRP. I barely know anything about Ethereum. Like, these guys don't know the technical stuff, or maybe they're getting faster and faster they're coming on board. But up until this point, they couldn't explain it if you begged them to.
Ryan,
if you had it on a teleprompter. So,
Ryan, do you use XRP DeFi?
No, why would I?
Because it's a very fast network. Everybody's going to be jumping on. You can start adding liquidity right now.
Why would I be using it? I'm not XRP's customer.
Because it's a superior but they're saying now that they have DeFi coming up and that they have allegedly the oldest decentralized exchange in the world, and yet like they name drop it in their website and nobody uses. I've never even heard of it.
But I feel like we already hashed it out. Why would anything? We can go through what they're doing now, what's coming out and what's on deck. Yeah, we want to talk about that.
No, I'm just saying like nobody is using it and nobody's going to use it. I don't know.
I know why you're saying that. I get what you're saying. I don't agree, but I understand why you're saying that. And I think that, again, I don't know that it's good for Ripple or XRP if anyone's trying to pump this thing at all up until this point. How does it help the company, especially when you're tied up in litigation? You want to be quiet, you want to stay under the radar, you want to play nice until it's all said and done, and then you want to kick their ass. All right. And I think, they got 10 years on this space with relationships and connections, network effect. We get so caught up in the digital, we forget about the human part. All right.
But here's the thing. Okay.
Yeah.
You're talking about XRP having this lawsuit in the United States. You know that there's like, 8 other continents in the world, right? Or 7 other continents in the world, right? And like hundreds of other countries in the world that have nothing to do with the United States and regulation. And this is a decentralized, allegedly, which I made the point today that it's actually not decentralized because of where all the validators and nodes are hosted, and there is no financial incentive. So if that's the case, you're literally saying, oh, just the United States is ruling it a security or saying that it's a security. They're in a lawsuit. But what about all the hundreds of other countries out there that are not doing it, and which, by the way, are going to be probably the direct beneficiaries of a cryptocurrency like XRP, like sending money from whatever, Mexico to Argentina or Panama to wherever. Nobody's using it, even outside of this country, and there is no lawsuits going on there.
How do you know that, though? That's what I'm trying to say is I don't think that this is all by accident. They're not ready to reveal. They're not ready to reveal. It's just a smart business decision. You don't have to accept that. There's no reason why anyone would or would accept that other than just agreeing and believing. All right. But I see too many things. I see too many like don't look over here. Don't look over here. Like I'm looking for another video here real quick. I want to play for you guys. I mean, even David Schwartz talks a little bit about that. I actually think that they're going to be bigger outside the US than the US anyway. People in Asia love XRP.
But why aren't they using it in Asia if they love it and they're not being sued right now?
Why aren't they using it?
Yep.
Nobody's using it right now. The point is it's getting to a place where they will be able to use it. We're talking about banks, man. This isn't gaming. This is vanilla ice cream melting. We don't like it unless it's really, really pure vanilla ice cream. We want to be able to just take our value, move it over very quickly without any loss of funds or any mistakes. It should be automated. Boom, boom, boom. That's where we're going. That's all that matters.
The only thing that's going to melt is your gains, man. Your gains are going to melt down to zero.
Hey,
all right.
I know why you're saying that. I disagree. I know what you mean, but I don't think it's a smart business move. And once I kind of caught on to that and I started to hear other people talking in that way, it started to make a lot more sense. I knew about XRP way back. And I even got into a little bit in 2021. I didn't even realize the lawsuit was going on at the time. I don't think I wasn't paying attention. And I didn't even pay attention. But once I kind of caught it, I was like, oh, these guys are not sitting around waiting for nothing. These guys are out there. They're the ones doing the work. Right. And I'm going back to the people side, man, the relationships, to put in the time, FaceTime. And these guys don't, I'm not saying that others don't, but I'm saying that these guys are not sitting around waiting for something to come to them. They're constantly coming up and creating. I mean, Gven, you of all people know that we talk all the time about what you're trying to create, build, grow, new ideas, new ways to provide value. Right. that's exactly, I mean, these guys are right up your alley, man. And I think let me find something real quick about with David Schwartz talking about it. Give me a sec. I just got to upload it. These are going slow, guys. Sorry for.
By the way, while Ryan's uploading that, Ruben, throw up the link if you guys are interested in learning how to make some passive income in real DeFi, not this fake DeFi that XRP has going on, but in real DeFi. Hit us up. The website is right down there. You're going to get a 7-day free trial, and then it's $97 per month thereafter for your membership. And I'm telling you, y'all are going to learn a lot. I just went over a strategy on how I was making $50,000 last time in the bull market that now is starting to come into play again yesterday. So you're not going to want to miss what we're talking about here, because we've got a lot of alpha. Even though I know the banter between Ryan and I is funny and we're laughing, but we really, really, really have one focus, which is coming to this new financial system and learning how to make money. So if you're interested in that, hit that link. There's that the code right there, ARCYT70DT, and you're going to be able to get 7 free days to check it out. You're going to get access to our app, which is on the Apple Store and the Google Store. So head over there. Let's get you rocking and rolling.
Hey, Ruben, can you play that first one? It's a shorter one that I just uploaded. It's actually Brad Garlinghouse. I'm just going to play a couple things real quick, and then we can chat.
Anyone thinks that Ripple is not 100% behind XRP is just missing. They've lost the plot. Like, we are totally committed, and we will remain totally committed.
Now, go ahead to the next one if you could.
Brad, this is an honest question. One of your products is to distribute liquidity through the payments system. So the question is, could there be a run on Ripple? In other words, everybody wants your liquidity. Nobody wants to provide it because there is a scenario where people develop doubts for good reasons or bad about the system.
So let me first clarify what Ripple provides. Ripple doesn't provide liquidity. Ripple provides technologies that allow you to access liquidity that exists in the marketplace. In the last 24 hours, the digital asset marketplace traded about $50 billion of liquidity in 24 hours. That includes XRP, but that includes Bitcoin and Ether and what have you. So, could there be a run on digital assets at large? The nuance of the question is, Ripple sells technologies. Can there be a run on Ripple? I don't know what that looks like. I mean, I can't really think about that. Could there be a run on digital assets? I don't know. I mean, today, again, $50 billion of liquidity, and, people are moving liquidity around. For XRP, a settlement happens in 3 seconds. And so, to your point of taking 24 hours, I mean, 24 hours that's a positive story of a cross-border transaction. Many take longer. So taking a 3-second transaction and the risk associated with a 3-second transaction as compared to a day or 2 or 3, I think most people would say, hey, I feel better about taking 3 seconds of risk than a day or 2. So could there be a run on digital assets? Even that, I don't know exactly how to think about, because again, there's a lot of, I suppose at $50 billion a day in a nascent, I view it as a pretty nascent market today. And people are getting liquidity that exists in the marketplace in local regions between XRP and the Philippine peso, XRP and the Argentine peso, XRP and the Brazilian real. And it's tapping into that liquidity that exists in the marketplace.
Thanks, Ruben. Yeah, I want to make sure that the most important thing is liquidity, man. The most important thing in this conversation should be liquidity, actually.
But
because
that's
what they are there to do.
There, nobody's putting liquidity. Again, this has been the debate since even 2017. Since I got in, nobody's putting liquidity, and banks can build their own blockchains. But
how are they going to bridge? How are they going to bridge, dude? They're going to build their own blockchains. They're going to have their own stable coins. They're going to have all that. We know that the banks are going to have. They don't want people to touch the stuff as much as possible, but they got to be able to move it around and bridge it.
CCIP solves that.
That's fine. Use that. That's going to also be. No one's talking about Chainlink versus XRP. We're talking about XRP having value. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah,
right?
But somebody's got to buy it, and somebody's got to use it, which makes it a commodity, right? In order for it to have value. And I just don't think anybody's going to do it. I think everybody's going to be sitting, looking at it like it's a pet rock during this bull market, and then everybody's going to lose out on all the great gains. But
yeah, but you're leaving one thing out. You're leaving one thing out, the most important thing. Regulation. Okay? Regulation is the thing that XRP has going for it most, I think, right now. Because they are going to be free and clear once they get on the other side of this. And I know Congress, I think things are changing quickly, right? So a lot of things are going to fall in line very quickly, I feel like. But right now, they got the clarity. They've been holding back, waiting back. They're not giving the SEC or anybody an inch of rope at all to hang them with. They're going, no. We're gonna sit back. We're gonna build. We're gonna use our relationships. We're gonna keep quiet. We're gonna be ready for this. When it's time to go, we're gonna go. All right. They need the regulation. The regulation. Bank's not gonna touch anything without regulation. That's kind of what I'm saying. They want vanilla. They want regulation. They don't want any trouble. You know, I mean, trouble in terms of like, you know, what we see, but that's, you have to, like, the regulation is the biggest part. And Ripple is they're the ones that we should be carrying them around on our shoulders, you know, because they're the ones that are taking all the heat, all the bullets for us. All right. So when that's all said and done, you're going to see a perfect storm of, holy cow, this thing is going to make a run. And to your point, I do think that anytime it does do any real move, it's going to crash. Like, there's enough people out there that are going to sell. Like, I know that's going to happen. I'm not worried about that. I expect it. It could crash bad. I don't even know. But I think that when it starts to catch on and regulation kicks in and people can actually start to work with them, right? And banks are comfortable. Until then, it doesn't matter. That's why I'm saying all the charts from 5 years are meaningless because they can't do anything. They're the ones that are setting it up. So they're the only ones that can do what they want to do. And not the only ones, but they're going to be able to do it quicker and faster. And having that 10-year head start with relationships, I think is huge. I think that's very, very important to keep in mind. You know, we all know that they're going to be connected with EVM soon. They got the Axelar partnership, right? Sorry, I'm losing my voice here. They got Neum is a partnership. We could go through all the different partnerships that are available for us to see now, but like Neum, NIUM, they're working with Apple Pay and Google. Right. So there's a lot of sand in the sandbox for everybody to get dirty on. Right. So it's not going to be Chainlink, just Chainlink. It's not just going to be XRP. It's not just going to be like all the ISO crew. Right. So there's a lot for everybody, but XRP has an advantage. All right. They have, you know, do most of you guys even realize that the XRP token can be broken up to 6 decimal point places? Very similar to how Bitcoin works with the Satoshi, but XRP has a drop, right? Don't get caught up in market cap with XRP. All right. Because you're gonna lose it. You're gonna definitely not want to get involved because you're not gonna understand how this really works. We can't think of it in market cap in the same way as we do traditionally. This is just a system of moving value, and it's going to be in the trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. Right now, the whole market cap of the whole space in crypto is 2.5. All right. Maybe Brad Garlinghouse thinks we're going to get to 5 trillion by the end of this cycle. Why does he think that? And he says he might be a conservative guesstimate. Brad Garlinghouse said that. Why would he think that? You know, so I think there's trillions and trillions.
He wants to pump his bags to dump his 22% on all of you guys, which is going to happen.
Hey, I'm just saying. These are, you know, like, if you want to talk about some specific stuff, sorry, I got stuff I could bring up. I mean, smart contracts, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Right.
I know, but it's already happened like on Polkadot, and it's already happened on ADA, and it's already happened on Cosmos. Like, nobody cares.
Well, but you said smart. You're the one that brought it up earlier. You pointed out with Chainlink. Right. Smart contracts are important, you know, because you got to be able to automate certain things.
Chainlink is not its own blockchain. Chainlink is
no, I know that.
Between, but unlike XRP, Chainlink actually incentivizes its validators. You can actually incentivize for having like it's I think it's called like being true or something like that, where you these validators or these computers are actually verifying that things are true on the blockchain, and they get paid for it. Hence, giving more of a decentralized effect. XRP doesn't do that. They have all of the validators and nodes in-house, and you can't sit here and tell me, well, that they're going to start doing it. They're going to start financially incentivizing people as soon as this is done. No way. They're not.
Dude, they got it. They got an AMM they released, right? I mean, to your point, it doesn't matter what they do right now, because it's not going to melt any faces yet. I mean, until this case is settled, dude, I stand by this. They're going to get the next ETF. They're next in line for an ETF. You want to? I'll even put a little wager with you right here in front of the whole ARK world here.
I'll wager respect.
Huh?
Respect, which I've lost a tremendous amount today because of your XRP maximalism. Just kidding, everybody. I love Ryan.
Yeah. No, but I think that I actually think, this isn't my take, by the way. I disagree with the take I heard. I think that it's going to happen before the end of the year. XRP ETF is next in line.
No
way. I do think that. I do.
No way.
I think.
Anyways, Ryan, thank you so much. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the spirited debate between Ryan and I. There's some people that are for, there's some people that are against. Hopefully we either change your mind for or against, but now you all understand a little bit more about how XRP works. And that's the intent, whether or not you're for it or against it. What we want is for you all to be thinking, like, why am I buying this? Is this a good investment? Is this something that is going to change my life? Or is this just another, junk coin? That's up to you to decide. I have my opinion. Ryan has his opinion. But if you really want to learn how to get into DeFi, if you want to learn how to make passive income using this new technology, all right, it's not going to be by buying the ETF from BlackRock or from Fidelity. It's going to be by learning how to become your own bank. And we have a 7-day free trial. You get access to our app. You get access to multiple different classes. We have a self-guided course that you can take at your leisure from your phone. It's really, really cool. So head over to that link, sign up. And guys, we'll see you next week. I've got a whole bunch of new videos, by the way, on YouTube that you're going to want to check out. Check them out. There's all sorts of new alpha that I put out on momentum trading, on setting up yield farms. It's going to be really, really cool. You're going to really like those. So head over to that, and you're going to see some of the strategies I'm using to make money during this cycle. Ryan, thank you for joining us, and we will see you all soon. Cheers.